Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Excuse me just a second. Just looking at what's going on here. Just I can't think how to stop bookmap from disappearing out of view there. See what happens. So, hope everyone is well. I've decided to get bookmap here and just keep an eye on it. So we'll see how we get on today anyway. Let me have a look. So we got 2 legs down to push up to a new high. How do I get it to stay to the left? Chart settings. Reset chart position. Oh, that's not it. So I'll play around with it. Okay. Sorry, it's all right. I've just been caught off guard a bit. I've been playing around with this. I've got buyers down here at 65, so this is going a little bit sideways here. So we seem to be ranging a bit. We've got orders at 65 and, well, in fact, 50 down here. Let's put these down here because that, I think, is going to be more of an interest. It's below liquidity there, so maybe we have a drop here and a push up. Just trying to see if there's some kind of a bigger channel moving up here. It's possible. I'm not too sure, though. Let me just see if I can get some other ideas. That was yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah, just not sure at the moment. Okay, yeah, so kind of Dan's got that at the moment. So we've got to push up, bang, bang, bang. Now, looking at here, there's some liquidity. Sorry, it's down. It's about 60, which is here, which is below everything here, which is exactly what I want. So I'm looking at this as a leg down. If we can get another leg down and hit this liquidity level, there's a good chance we're going to push up. There's lots of orders up here. So if we can, I'm not sure how to stop that from keep going out of sight without physically moving it. So it may push up, but there is 2 legs. It may do something like that. But to be honest with you, while that liquidity is there, I'm just sitting tight because this thing may take a bit of a pullback. Karina, how you doing? Okay, so I did finally get my $2,000 payment yesterday. Eventually, at least I can trade my account now. Yeah, I don't really want to do anything here. 1, 2, 3, made 3 attempts. For me, it would have to pick up this liquidity down here, around the 61 to 65, which is below there. If this is going to push up, really, this is kind of the area. Beach Bum, how you doing, bud? This is kind of the area where you want to kind of get in. We did have 2 legs and a strong move up there, but that's like 5 points odd. Apex, I've only got Apex accounts at the moment. I've just got 10 Apex accounts. So I just don't know why it took too long. In fact, I know why it took too long, because my last one was denied. I kind of knew it was. It was the one where I'd accidentally opened 10 contracts. I think if it gets denied, they review it, because it said pending, then it said under review. So I could only take a trade from down here at the moment. Does anybody know how to keep that from There's usually something down here, how to stop it from just keep going out of sight. Let me just see if there's... It just keeps going left. How do I get the market to just kind of move with it? So there's some at 65 down here. It's going to have to get down here for me. I'm not taking it into highs, regardless of whether I think it's trapped that bear bar. I wouldn't take that bear bar because I can see there's big orders up here. Now, it hit these orders and had a bit of a pullback, but whether it's enough, I think I am going to upgrade to the other one that gives you this the sort of volume imbalance. They're having, yeah, I'm guessing they are having a bit of a delay with all that. In fact, it was only kind of, I think, was it last night or this morning that I could actually get back on the website. It was still having problems all day yesterday. You could get through to one page, but it took about 3 or 4 minutes to get. And the trouble is, because you have to do that factor 2 thing. It gives you a certain countdown, doesn't it? So it just wasn't working. Just going to close this up a little bit. That's better. Straight Lines Tattoo, how you doing, bud? Yeah, I think personally there's buyers getting trapped here. So I expect this to come down below there, and quite likely there. Now you can see there are relatively strong orders down. Now there are up here, granted, but my guess is this is probably going to come down first. It may not, who knows, if you get enough aggressive buyers, which I can't see on this chart. That's the beauty about having the aggressive buyers. Unfortunately, to get that where you can see the imbalance of buyers and sellers, it's $99 a month. But $99 a month, what's that? $1,200 a year. If I lose one trade, or if I save one loss, that's $1,500 in one loss I've saved. So $1,200 a year is peanuts, really. So now there is a little second entry here, and this may work, but to be honest with you, although this is going up, it's not doing it any rate of knots, and it's going slowly. Now, there is obviously the possibility that we may be getting something like this, but because it's going upwards with a little hint of sidewards, my concern is this flushes down. But it looks like it's going up anyway. But I've been involved in trades like this before, and it just gives me bad feelings. Now, what I will say is we are getting buyers trying to prop price up here. You can see them at 72 up here. So if this is a bit of a channel, it may come back here, but I'm staying well out of this just in case it flushes, which I have a feeling it may do. If it gets below there, it's game over. This thing's going to come down, I think. So at least a 65, which will take out that and that. Well, most of it may hold, but it's not going up at the right angle for me and not quick enough. So there are some orders at 65 down here. If it gets down this low, my guess it could come lower, although there is a channel, and after you get a break of it, we may get a straight low, but this is what I was concerned about. So it may hold. Now it's flushed a bit. But I certainly wouldn't take this at the moment. You're going long right into support here. You can clearly see it's not finding it that hard. Sorry, that easy to get through. Disco, how you doing, bud? So my guess is we get a flush down to at least 65, hopefully. Now, if we got a range here, there's a breakout. Now, often when we get a breakout at the top, we also get one at the bottom, as most of us know by now. So it's taken out that and that. So my guess it's coming down. So you can see what I'm saying. The urgency, you know, maybe inexperience trying to get in. And I say that because it wasn't that long ago I was looking for a way up in this. And so many times it did this. So I kind of half expected that. And I stayed out of it for that reason. Now, fortunately, I wouldn't have taken that bar anyway. That bar was a doji, although it looked better on my second chart. You may have taken that. That trigger just stopped you straight out. You may have taken that, but you can see it's just as much sideways as it is slightly up. So for me, yeah, that rings alarm bells. So there's obviously been some either profit taken or buyers. I still don't think this is finished coming lower, but if this is a channel and we've had a break, it may go up. But for me, I've got to do something about this. It's dipping out of sight here. There are buyers here. Is that going to prop buyers up? I'm not sure. Now, this to me is looking like a range. Heavy buyers above, sellers above, heavy buyers below. And what's the market doing? It's ranging. So these sellers are down at 60, below liquidity here, which should clear all this out the way. So my guess is this is more likely going to come down here. That's unless aggressive buyers jump in. And because we've had a channel there, they may do. But my guess is I'm staying well away at the moment. No, yeah, I'm not surprised, bud. I'm not surprised. I did notice, I think, sort of North Yorkshire and North East, so that kind of northeast along there, Newcastle and all them. You can see it's coming down. I don't mind a bit of snow, actually. Okay, so I was aware that could push up because we got a channel here, but in my opinion, it's just, you may have argued there's a second entry along there, but after this leg down, you don't know whether price is going to come down to this liquidity, so I just stayed out of that. I quite like a bit of snow, I do. I like that sort of crunch under your feet. Not good for old people or if you're driving, but if you're working from home, it's ideal because you can just look behind you and look at all the pretty snow, but not have to go out in it. We did have a frost last night. I think it was that first frost we had about a -2, so I wouldn't put the recycling out early hours in the morning. I'm trying to stay up half the night at the moment because the cricket starts at 1:30 UK time. It's most of you guys won't know what cricket is. You may have heard of it, but it's like a kind of a well-known tournament between England and Australia. It's called the Ashes tournament. So that starts in Australia at 1:30 UK time tomorrow. So I'm trying to switch my system round so I can stay up half the night and sleep a chunk of the morning. So it's hard to trade this. So I'm just sitting tight, but you can see these orders up here and down here, which is creating this little kind of tunnel, isn't it? Nothing in Hastings. Yeah, I think it is. It's quite compressed to that kind of one side around the kind of Newcastle, North Yorkshire, Cumbria type of area of the country, isn't it? You never know. See, does anybody know why that's doing that? I can't seem to get it to stop. Let me take a photo of this if I can get some help on here. Okay, so we have picked up some of these sellers, but there are sellers further up. So now we've had this push up, we may get... See, what I'd like to do, if I'm interested in buying this, I'd like it to come back to this line twice. Now, we came close. That's what I was hoping for. 2 legs down, clear list liquidity, and bounce a couple of times above here, and then maybe take something long. But we didn't get it, really. It just kept on going. Is there a way to improve my lag today? It's over 2. Yes. Download this. It's free. It's called Time Sync. Someone mentioned this to me maybe a couple of years ago. That's it there. So it's just called Time Sync. Look for that little, because there's a couple of them, I think. Look for that that little logo there. Just download that, install it, and that'll manage that for you. I think that's gone orange maybe twice in 2 years, just for a split second. So Time Sync, that's what you want to find. Right click on the price axis of the right, and there should be an option called recenter options. Let's have a look. Recenter. Let's have a look. It should be set to auto BBO. Recenter, it is, isn't it? Auto BBO. It is. It's all right, someone else has just mentioned that. Let's try it again. Should not be. Watch the recenter settings. It should be set to auto BBO, which it is. Okay, let's give it another shot. Let's put it there, see if it disappears out of sight. It is, isn't it? Let's have another go. Recenter now. No, it's going, isn't it? I'm pretty sure there used to be like a little arrow floating here that you could hit. Let me just see what else there is there. What that is. Let's try that one. Let's try it again. Some buyers here. Quite a chunk of them. See if this thing pushes up higher. There is actually a failure there. Trouble is, it's 20 ticks, and it's right close to the top, so I'm sitting tight. I try fiddle with those recenter settings. Yeah, I'm trying to put it like that so I don't have to wait 3 minutes. Let's have a look. Oh, that's working, isn't it? Or is it? No, it's not. It's going to disappear out of sight, isn't it? It's got to be these, isn't it? Recenter settings, auto, DBO. You got to keep it a certain. Oh, I don't know. So 2 legs back. That's interesting there. It's tempting, that is. On my other chart, but at the moment, we've got buyers below, sellers above. It's a bit of a flat spot here, so there is 2 legs back, and that may work. But I think I'm staying out of this. It's not super clear, really, so there is a higher low there. That might be a better option. How do I feel about that? I'm just not sure at the moment. It's going sideways, so I'm going to stick at this. Now, there is a bull bar here with a higher low. There is going to be stops up here. It's probably going to push up to 790 up here, so that may work. No, I'm just going to sit tight here. This is just making me a little bit nervous. Like that, it's 15 ticks, tick above, tick below. So good decision to leave that because it triggered it, came straight down. You can see how this works, can't you? We've got a bull bar and a higher low. It's really sly how this works. See what happens? It pushes right down, stops it out for 1 tick, and then pushes straight back up. You've got to be so careful. It looks like 2 legs back in a bull bar, and you can see it will bounce in here, can't you? Now, the tendency then is to wait for the higher low, but it triggered you, came straight down, stopped you out for a tick. This market is a right bastard, I got to say. They say don't take trading personally. It's pretty bloody hard not to take it personally when it bends you over and shafts you like that. Yeah, that's why I'm super paranoid. I'll tell you what, this market does make you paranoid, I've got to say. Tempting bell, isn't it? See what I mean? What's putting me off is because it's going sideways, and when it goes sideways, it can be a bit tricky. Now, to be honest with you, the overall market at the moment is going up. So you would kind of expect trades like that and the higher low to work. It continued up. A higher low, you're going to have stops here, but it triggered you out, came straight down, stopped you out for 1 tick. It's annoying, isn't it? So I think if something doesn't feel quite right, leave it alone. But it does look like 2 legs back. So I can get the idea of getting in there. But it was 15 ticks anyway, so it's just not worth it. If you get into a trade and something doesn't feel right, you can get chopped up and lose a chunk of money. I could have lost $2,000 there, boom. But one thing I can guarantee is if I leave it, there'll always be another trade, and I'm guaranteed not to lose money. So if it seems just a little bit too congested like that, we've got nothing here anyway. So, we've still got 2 legs back. That was the only bullish bar. That one didn't get stopped out. But then we didn't really get a higher low as such. It didn't trigger anyway. So it kind of did what you'd expect it to do after 2 legs back, but not before. It just made some people miserable. Seems okay now, I think. You see this white line here? It was moving before. It's not now. It was moving right. It's staying where it is now. So I don't know what I did, but it worked. I think you put me, yeah. I don't know what happened there, but. So all I'm trying to do really is, let me have a look. So 802, I'm just trying to make sure So I'm playing from 60, which is here. So I'm just trying to work out the kind of distance from top to bottom here. So the top is at 800, which is there. And the bottom is at 60, which is there. Okay, so this is kind of this area. So yeah, it's there's plenty to you can see where these buyers and sellers are, can't you? But there are strong sellers up here and relatively strong buyers down here. So it's kind of moving in this tunnel. But there are buyers starting to pop up around here where you kind of expect market to pull back to. So they keep fading though. So there is 100 contracts there. We've got some news coming up in 2 minutes anyway. So 777 spot 5. So 777. Oh, 777 spot 5. So that is kind of where you'd expect price to come down to with a pullback. So you can guess why there are buyers here. I mean, if you were wanting to buy this market, where do you want to buy? On the pullback, don't you? But they're strong down there. So let me just clear this up a minute. So those orders are around about 60 to maybe 61 3/4. So 60 to 61 3/4. So around about there, which is at kind of that previous bounce, isn't it? So a lot of the time price will come back to clear this up, but this now looks to me like it's going up in some form of a channel. Just looking at where it may be. It's possible, but I just don't like the fact that we've got big areas of missing kind of bounces here. So just for now, I'm going to do something a little bit more local. That looks better. Oh, yes, that's better. Let's drag that down to the bottom, tighten that, and that'll get the tops looking a bit nicer. Yeah. Okay, let's ditch that. We don't need it. So that looks much better. So liquidity-wise, not a huge amount below. So this may be on its way up now, and hey presto, look at that go. Now you're going to get buyers moving in this area here. So what I'm going to do is put that there at 81 and just see if any orders pop in at 81. See if other traders get that same thought process as me. So 95 there are, and the biggest amount of orders are at 800, which nice big round number. I'm guessing that's close to that measured move. No, it's way above it. So maybe we use this now. So correction, and then some more. So let's have a look. So there are buyers at 80, a little bit below. Oh no, yeah, about there. Not a huge amount, but there are just under 100 contracts, and there are some here. So there are a few smaller buy orders here. It's moving again now. Look, is it because I've done something? Oh no, it's okay. So 800, I think there's a fair chance price is going to get up there. Now, the sell orders come in from around about 95. There's 153 contracts, 109. So I think there's a good chance price is going to get up to this. So the majority of them are from 95 and onwards. So I think there's a good chance price is going to get there. So the good thing is now, if you had a nice second entry here and you got in with a load of buyers, you could have a fair old guess price is going to get up to here. So you may then be able to possibly pick up a fair size move. That's the beauty of having this. It can save you getting in trades, and also it can give you a possible target for a move higher. So orders at 80. You can see here there are some a touch lower, but 2 legs back. I wouldn't take one off here because we're coming away from the top here, in my opinion. So if you look, we're at the top of the channel. At the top of the channel, what's happening? We're coming away from the top. So that, in most cases, will cause a break. So that looks like what's happening. So let's just keep an eye on this area because they're not a huge amount of orders. And if we get a nice setup here and you get enough buyers, that'll push the price up. They're not super strong there, but I don't think it's terrible, but I'm going to leave this because I can see there are buy orders below this. Now, is that a break? I'm not super convinced. It may be, but I'm just sitting tight. It is a second entry long. There's no argument there, but there you go. See, I guarantee there'll be some traders taking that. 2 legs down, nice bullish bar. They'll have this a bunch of ways, and all of a sudden it triggered them, come down and stop them out. So that will attract traders, no argument there. Let's see if we can see if any. Some people don't post them. Let's have a look. I bet there'll be traders that have taken that one. It's funny, isn't it? It triggers you, come down, stops you out, and then pushes up. But for me, buyers down here, that's enough to keep me out of a trade here, regardless of whether it goes up or not. I'm not interested just by the fact that these are down here. But there is a second entry long there above the EMA. Triggered you, come straight down, stopped you out. Now, it may push up. But I'm surprised if it pushes up when that first bar didn't look terrible, but the context for me was buyers are down here, but then it triggered, stopped you out, and then pushed up. So this may come down a bit. We are getting very close to these sellers here. So, but I wouldn't take a trade here. Purely and simply what happened with that first one, I wouldn't have expected that to push straight up. Yeah, they are. Stop by a tick just to watch it go higher. Yeah, so there you go. So if that didn't work and you had that, you got in there, came down again. So having this in your arsenal will help you. It's saving me. It's actually a nice looking setup. So it's shot straight down. Let's see if we get buyers here now.
Order submitted.
It's tempting. There are orders below here, but it's tempting. But I think I'm going to wait for the higher low. If there's orders below me here, I'm going to wait for the higher low. So I'm just going to ditch this, to be fair. There are sellers at 82 up here, so this may push up and come down. There's always a possibility there's been a break here. You could say, yes, touch, 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 break, 2 pushes to a new high. This may reverse. It's hard to say, isn't it? So, off of the trend line, 2 legs back, you lose by 1 tick. And Mac will it? Yeah, guarantee if that took off, Mac would mark that 100%. That's the thing, isn't it? That's the frustrating thing. To be honest with you, if someone's been trading Pats for about 3 months, they could mark trades on a chart at the end of the day. All you need to know is the basics. I'm very annoyed, but I do the same bars now. So, yeah, there's a break there, I think, and that's what's causing this, I think. Now, whether this does reverse or whether it pushes higher, but yeah, I know straight away 2 trades who took that. Someone took the next candle as well and got stopped. So for me, If that triggers you and stops you straight out, 2 legs and a move up aren't going to work there for me. So when you get another bullish bar, straight away it traps more traders and then pulls back. So if you get stitched up the first time, I bet now there'll be traders. And to be honest with you, a year or so ago, I'd have jumped straight in. I'd have lost that, got frustrated, and straight away took another one and got stiffed again. Can't tell you how many times I lost 2 trades in the space. I mean, realistically, depending on where you got in there, a point and a quarter, because you've got to push through. But if the first one doesn't work, you've got to give that a bit of space, I think. Oh, absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I just jump. I'd sit here blowing my own trumpet, saying how patient I'd been and that my trading now has gone to the next level. And after about 2.5 hours of having the patience of a saint, I'd lose 2 trades in the space of about 30 seconds. But I can't emphasize enough, if it's happening to you, don't worry about it. What's happening is you're learning. And I know it doesn't feel like it, but you really are learning. You know, trust me, if you get punched in the face every day, I guarantee by day 2, if you're not stupid, you're going to start to duck. And it's the same with trading. The more pain you go through, the more times you get shafted. Sooner or later, you start to become very aware of what's around you. And if something doesn't feel right, it took me a long time to leave trades if something doesn't feel right. It really did. I think it took me longer than most, to be honest with you. We all like to think we're something special and we're learning quicker than the others, but I'm a realist, and I think it took me a lot longer. I think I took way more punishment than I really needed to. So we know there are buyers down here. So is that going to be enough to push them up? Tough one, isn't it? I mean, we've pushed up, had a fair pullback, pushed up, gone sideways, had another push up, had another pullback. So sometimes if you go from the top, that gives you a little bit more of an insight. I don't know whether it will in this case. No, I'm not sure at the moment. Problem is, you never know when this thing might discern to turn on its arse and come down the other way. But you can see strong orders above, strong orders below. So it really could go up or could come down here. So let's just focus on this. We got this channel here. We've actually had a break at a new low. Now, that doesn't mean it can't push up to the EMA and come down for a second leg. So let's have a look. There are orders at 82 up here, about 82, which I think is too high for a pullback. You're nearly at the top of the move. So I think there's a good chance this comes down here, but you've got to get a good setup here, I think. But while those orders are there, I'm a little bit nervous here. Stu, how you doing, buddy? Do you look to take profit every 8 days? So, up until now, I've hit profit, take money, hit profit, take money, hit profit, take money. The trouble is, you get a couple of bad days and you end up losing accounts because you haven't got much left. So I purchased 5 Traderify accounts about 3 months ago, got 4 of them up to payout level and took $2,000. Trouble is, you've only got $1,000 left. So I've gone up to that next stage now where I'm starting to think more long term, and I want to try and grow these accounts so I can use them as an income. I'm sitting tight here with orders up here, quite a few up here. This may decide to go up for a second leg. It is a second entry on my other chart, but as I say, push up, sideways, push up. I'm just sitting tight here. As I say, these orders are at 82. It's quite a way up for a pullback, which tells me that there's always a possibility channel break new low. This is moving back up again, but I'm just sitting tight. So if you took that one, second entry after the move down, trigger just stopped you out. So I can't tell you how many times I'd have got stuck in these again and again, but you just start to get a better picture after a while. You may say that's a triple test. That triple test for me is a little bit too much, like a little bit of a range. So I'm just sitting tight here. It may well come down, but as we got these orders up here, I'm just leaving that alone. It is a bit congested. Now, it may work, but for me, there's alarm bells here. Granted, there are buyers here, but there are also sellers up here as well. You can see them all the way up. Stronger ones are here, so a leg and a leg. This is where to sell, I think, if you're going to do this. Fortunately, that didn't trigger, so hopefully some of the traders we know would have may have left that alone. See, we're pushing up across. I think we'll go up a bit, but you never know. I think Bookmap's much. You get more confidence in Bookmap when there are more orders in a certain direction. It's very kind of balanced here, isn't it? Some up here, which I think why it's been going sideways kind of for a while, with the exception of that little move out. So now it has broken below there. That one didn't trigger. We are close to these buyers here, but I don't like this. I don't like any of this. So regardless if it comes down, it's irrelevant really. Taking that for me, it's congested. As we've pushed up into it, a lot of times that will trigger and move up. So 8 days profit to withdrawal. So this is how I see my plan to earn an income, a steady income from trading. Now, I've tried trading 2 contracts. I've tried trading 1. I've tried trading 3. When you trade with prop firms, you have a little bit more money than you would have if you were trading your own. In fact, a lot more money. So if I was going to trade my own money and I put $2,500 into account, that would be my risk. I've invested $2,500 and I'm risking $2,500. So I would need to be sensible with my contract size. If I traded with a prop firm, to get an evaluation past that and to move on to a PA account would probably only cost me maybe $175, $200, which is less than a tenth of the $2,500 you would have to put in with your own money. So I believe in that case, it's okay to risk a little bit more. But my plan is to build my 10 accounts to $7,500. To trade 1 contract, that would mean my risk would average at 2%, sometimes a touch lower, sometimes a touch higher, which is a good sensible amount. And I don't think it's difficult to make an average of $250 per week off an account. I'm already up $250 this week, so which will be $1,000 a month. 10 accounts, $10,000 a month. Whoever you are, $10,000 a month is a good income. And that's off 10 accounts when you build it to 7,500, only risking 2%. Now, at some point down the line, they're going to put you onto a live account. They'll just put all your money in the live account, which means you're still going to have $75,000 to trade with. But if you can grow to that level and start taking regular payments, then you can add another 10 account there, 5 accounts with another prop firm, 5 accounts, and that's when you can kind of exponentially grow. But you'll go through the stage of not making money, losing a ton of money, to making your first payment, to making a few more payments, to making maybe 5 or 6 months in a row. And then you'll start to look, I think, more long-term and say to yourself, okay, well, you know, I still have my moments, but generally I'm profitable now. So perhaps now's the time to start being sensible and grow an account so you can use it for a proper monthly income. So that's kind of the level I'm at now. So, don't confuse me with a professional trader. I'm just been trading 5 years like most of you guys. Some have been trading less, some have been trading more. So I've had my fair share of struggles. Second entry short here. You're on about here. I'm staying well out here. I am at the moment because I've got no idea where price is going now. I know those buy orders are down there, but with this leg up and that correction, I'm guessing there are buyers trying to protect this area. So it may get close and then it may take off. So you risk 120, 150, yeah. See, I risk at the moment, my drawdown is 2,500 and I risk on average 150. So, what's that? 250, so 25 is 1%. So I'm risking about 6%, between 5 and 8%. Now, on a prop firm, bearing in mind you've got $2,500, but it hasn't cost you that. That's not too bad. But what I found is when I trade 2 contracts, I do get nervous and I want to get out of a trade. And I found that I was getting out the trade for a point and a half, 2 points. And I'm thinking I might as well go to one contract and let it run. And it's definitely less stressful trading one contract. It does take a little bit longer, but, if you're prepared to sit and wait for maybe 5 or 6 months, 5 or 6 months to build an account, 10 accounts of $75,000, you've got a $10,000 a month income. Even with the worst month in the world, you're going to at least take home half of that. So, I mean, when I first started streaming, and I got my one account up to $7,500, I had some easy trades and I had a few bits of luck and I was trading 2 contracts and I was dragging profit. Now, in all fairness, I got there, but it was never going to last because I didn't have the mental capacity for it then. And at the time, my plan was to try and make $2,500 a week, and I thought that was reasonable from 2 contracts. Now I'm more of a realist, and I'm giving myself a fair amount, which is 10 times smaller. So we do sometimes have that bit of luck. We have a few big counts, a few big wins, and then you think you're going to be able to do it all the time. It doesn't quite work like that. You would have built the accounts first, say 55 on a 50, then took 250 a week. Yeah, there's different things you can do. Now, I have one account at the moment that's larger than the rest, and my plan is to take a little bit of money every month off that one. But I may get to $3,500 and decide to take 500, and then get to another, say 6,500 and take another 500, something like that. I'll see what my finances are like. But I'm 56 now, so at 55 in the UK you can get access to a private pension. So I took after little bits that came out, I took about 58,000, something like that. So we've still got a chunk of that put away. My wife earns a good living, so we're okay. We manage okay. So I taking a bit from one account per month, on top of bits affiliates and what my wife gets and our little bit of savings, that's fine. At least I know once my account gets to 3,500, 4,000, I could take, 10 loads of 500 and have a quick $5,000 if I wanted to, if I need to. But at the moment, my plan is just to try and not think about taking money for now and try and just focus on growing those accounts. That's tempting. It's 18 ticks though, and I'm just leaving it at the moment. There's just not much room to the highs. That's any trouble. So if you go a tick above, probably a little bit less than a tick. If you go a tick above, there's probably a 1.5 you get. Now I go for 3 points. So it's just a little bit unclear, this. So at the moment it went up to 2.5 points, and then pulled back. So just my slight concern is these big orders down here. We got a channel down there with a break and a new low. We may get a channel break, new high, and this thing may come down again and test something like this. So at the moment, I'm just see what I'm thinking. So it's you don't know whether we got touch. Look how kind of the bottom's not fitting too bad, is it? So, you know what I mean? So that's just my concern. Channel break, a little bit sideways, a little pop up, and then a drop. So well, I mean, it's easy when you know what it does, but my concern was there's a little break here and 2 pushes to a new high, and then we come down. So my concern was that there may be something like that. Pretty sure there isn't now. Skip the second entry long, waiting for the high low. Yeah, I think that's the right call. As I say, there's not much room to the highs, and there is. If I look left, I can just see the way these are skipping down, and we're kind of in line. So I'm aware of that. And that angle there is very similar to that angle there, and it kind of runs in line. So, you know, I have these things going through my head as well. So let's have a zoom out, see if we can figure out what's going on here. Maybe it is just ranging a bit. These are up to 800, which is there. But yeah, in fact, just I should have said something. Yes, actually, some guy said yesterday. I can't remember who it was. That's it. I'm done with Pats. And I thought about it last night actually, and I thought I was going to come back so I can find out who it was. And what I wanted to say is don't. What I will say is I think Pats is a great system. But I think what I've learned over the 4.5 years I've traded it, I've moved the touch towards Penguin style, which is very similar, and then moved back. And I've moved away again and moved back. And I keep coming back to Pats because it does make sense to me. But as I've only ever really learnt one strategy, I can't honestly say that there is an easier strategy. What I think I'm fair in saying that every strategy takes a lot of time to understand, not how it works. In fact, let me just, I'm talking crap a minute. Let me just try and refocus here. We talked about it yesterday. The key with any strategy is context. If you're not trading in the right direction, it doesn't matter how. If you've got a fantastic looking second entry long in a downtrend, you shouldn't take it. So it's about finding that correct context. Am I going, you know, direction is a big part of it, but, you know, context being, why didn't I take that? Because there may be something coming down. So the context is there is possibly something coming down. The context is we've had a channel with a break and a matching high. So there's a bunch of different reasons to leave that, but by the count, it is a second entry long. So don't be hard on yourself if you think I'm not getting packed and I need to move on. I think the simple fact is, whatever strategy you choose to trade the markets, there is a long time of learning how to apply that strategy. I genuinely believe there's no easy way of trading the markets. There isn't. There's learning how the markets move, learning to read price action, maybe having a bit of software like Bookmap to help you, and just trading every day. It's like anything. The more you become foul to the market and you get stiffed, the more you learn, the more you have that picture in the head, and the more you leave things alone. You'll go from taking 6, 7, 8 trades a day to taking maybe 1 or 2 a day, and you'll fine tune everything. And sooner or later, you'll get some stability where you'll be earning more money than you're losing. And then you're a profitable trader. And then as you get older and more wiser and more experienced, you'll fine tune it some more. So don't dismiss a strategy and think it's too difficult. The difficult part is learning to apply it in the correct time. So it's context and timing is everything. And another thing about scalping, because it's so fast moving, that does hype up those emotions a little bit. And then you can fall foul to impulsive trading. I know because I've done it. I've had an itchy trigger finger on a number of occasions. So, it does take a little bit of time to learn to scalp because of that pure speed of it. So, don't be hard on yourself and think, damn, I'm frustrated. You know what I mean? To learn to play the guitar, yeah. I played the guitar on and off for years. In fact, I'd say it's more like trying to learn the piano blindfolded with one arm tied behind your back. I think, with a few months of having a guitar, you can play half a dozen chords. You could probably play about 95% of the Beatles songs out there, but at least you can get a tune out of it. But I have to say, I'm 56 years old. I have done a multitude of jobs in my life. I never like to do the same thing. I've learned to do a bunch of things over the years, and I've never done anything as difficult as this. Now, whether I've made it more difficult for myself, is a possibility, but it's not many other jobs that you get into where there's a 90%, 95%, well, some say 95%, some say 98% failure rate. The reason there's such a big failure rate is because it is hard and it's expensive. You can't learn to trade without losing money. It's impossible. You have to risk money to have those emotions, because at some point you could spend 10 years on a simulator. I guarantee when you move to a live account and you've got real money, there's a whole new world to experience. So it's expensive to learn and hence painful. So look, you can learn the theory, but absolutely. When you're faced with losing, I remember when I first started trading, I'd done 6 months trading currency and I knew jack shit, to be honest with you. I didn't understand what was going on. Simple fact is. And then I started watching Randy Jackson and whatever his name is, the two. Randy Jackson, Randy Coleman, he's a singer, isn't he? Randy Coleman and the other guy. And those were the ones that attracted me to trading this strategy. The first thing that stuck in my mind is I'm looking at about 20 different charts trading currency, and they're looking at one. And I traded it for about a month. Now, one particular week, we had a really big trending market, and I knew the basics, and I was just buying. And I think I won 4 trades in a row one day, 3 trades in a row another day. I was up about 9 trades, and I was trading 2 contracts on a sim, and I just worked out that I could have earned over £1,000 this week. So on the Friday, I went to work, stopped at a garage. I was on a building site about 20 miles away, and I decided that right there and then I'm going to become a full-time trader. So I phoned the boss up, told him to shove his job up his arse. He was an arsehole anyway. Came home, stuck £5,000 into my own bank and lost it all. But I remember I was winning trade after trade on a sim, and I remember the very first time I put a live trade on with a live account and I lost it, and all of a sudden I felt this horrible burning in my chest, and something all of a sudden said to me, I think I may have made a mistake here. Losing money for the first time in a trade, whether it be $100, $150, $200, I think I pretty much shit myself and thought, what have I done? I've just thrown away my job. And I think I lost 3,000 initially and lost the other 2,000 it all went within the space of 3 weeks. But when I was jacking my job in and sending the money off to Ninja Trader, I still had that excited feeling, but I had this little voice in the back of my head saying, surely it can't be this easy. And not only was it a lot harder than I thought, it was a lot more, and a lot way harder than I thought. So it just goes to show sometimes what seems a bit of fun and a bit of excitement on a sim can turn into a miserable month when you trade in real money. So don't do what I do or what I did. But fortunately, I'm lucky in the sense that I can get a batter in and a couple of days later come back with a renewed amount of enthusiasm. I don't know where it comes from. I guess I'm just lucky. But I do like a challenge, and the worst thing someone can say to me is you can't do it. I'll die trying or become financially crippled. But trading is harder than you ever think it is. If it was that easy, everyone would be making millions, wouldn't they? But you can do it with time. Now, if you were going to become a doctor, it's probably going to take you 7 years in the UK. I suggest to you, if you've been trading for 7 years, you're quite likely going to be earning more money than a doctor comes and working about a quarter of the amount of hours he does. So you can do it. It just takes a little more time than you think. So you can see at the moment with price, it's generally kind of, there are moves up, but generally we're kind of chopping up down a little bit. So I don't know whether we come up to here, whether this is now going to come down or it's going to come further up. We've got buyers down here and we've got buyers down here and we've got sellers above. So that is maybe why it's doing this up and down bit. So we're obviously in the up bit, but is that high enough? Is it going to push up and break these highs? Or is that high enough and this is going to come down? So that getting the direction right here is key. And in all honesty, I don't know whether it's going to go up or come down first. As we've bounced here twice, you would probably think down, but now look what's happening. So it's not that easy really to trade this stuff. Been there, done that. Yeah, it's painful, isn't it? Learning to trade is painful. I've got to say, twice now. I've been with my wife for about 30 years. She's seen me in tears 3 times. A few tears when my mum passed away. A couple of tears when my daughter was born in 30 years, and in the space of 6 months, twice when I've blown loads of accounts. The first time I was in tears, I absolutely flipping broke down in tears. It even surprised me. Because I'd worked so hard and I just lost it. The emotions took over, and before I know it, my accounts were at 0. But every time you blow accounts, it kind of hurts less and less. And you do it less and less, and you start to make a little bit more money, and you get that kind of seesaw effect where you guys in the US know what a seesaw is. It's like kids thing. It's got a pivot in the middle and it goes up and down. But when you start trading, your skill level's down here and your emotions are up here, aren't they? And over time, you get that kind of tipping effect where your skill level starts to climb, which you tend to not think about so much. You focus on the pain, but you tend to forget this. And then you start to get that balance where your skills are enough to make you win more trades than you lose, but your emotions are still a little bit too much. And then when you start to get that tip in the other way, that's when you start to get that realization that if I take my time, I can make this happen. And that's when you start to slowly make money and lose less and blow accounts less. And when you get to that level, it's a really lovely feeling and a really nice, satisfying feeling that I'm on the other side of hell, for want of a better word, or I've dug myself up out the ground. And I enjoy my trading days now, whereas I used to have that love-hate relationship, that kind of nervous excitement. The trouble is, when you're nervous and excited, that you can get that trigger finger. But now I enjoy my days sitting in front of the charts. He's 55, not a child. 56, actually, I am. Get it right. That's if you're about me, are you? I don't know. My sweet brother lost 7,000 euros years ago. Not good strategy. Yeah. Losing money does teach you valuable lessons. There's no argument there. So now, what I would say now is, now we're at the top of this. If we've pushed up twice, I bet there'll be people wanting to short there. Now, my thought is there are short orders in this area. So shorting here is risky because it may trigger you and stop you out. So if I was looking to take a trade here, I would have a glance over at Bookmap and go, am I safe to short here? And the answer would be, with all these sell orders, no. So I would leave it. So the first way Bookmap saves my arse is by keeping me out of bad trades. Now, whether this comes down or not is kind of irrelevant at the moment. What's happened is it's triggered and it's starting to move up. So that's kind of how Bookmap would, stop me from getting. Now, there are buyers down here, so it may come down a bit, but this to me isn't a good place to short, especially with all these big boys up here. It's doing it again. Let's have a look into this. So you can see these orders. There are large orders here, so this is acting like a magnet. There are some buyers here and here, but nowhere near as strong as these are. Look, there are 323 contracts, 221, 100, 140. There's a large amount of sellers here, and this is sucking price up. Now, if you've got a huge amount of sellers selling now, that may push price down, but at the moment, look what's happening to our bearish bar that we may have taken. It's triggered, and now price is working up. So perhaps it wasn't such a good idea. So when you're taking a trade, just wait, just have a quick look and see if there are big sellers above where you're shorting, and that may just save you a loss. Now, I wouldn't have taken that trade anyway because it doesn't look right, irrelevant that we're at the top. But we have pushed up twice, so it may pull back a bit, but for me, this is going to push higher. We may get a natural pullback, I suppose. But then my belief is this is going up. Now, possibly a second entry long here. Trouble is, there are a lot of buyers here. 82.5. Is that about right? There are buyers, maybe a bit higher here. So a second entry long here, as tempting as it looks, I'm going to stay out of this because there are sellers and buyers right above your head in both directions. So for that fact, it may not even fall bullish anyway. No, it doesn't. So let's just get a few more of these orders here. So 775 is quite a strong amount, which is down at the midline, basically. So add 2 legs up. I see a couple Yeah. Traders do trade those things. I don't know whether they will. I suppose they must do, otherwise they wouldn't talk about them. Head and Shoulders is another one you kind of hear more than anything. So let's have a look at this. So second entry long, would I take that? As tempting as it is, no, because you can see there are buyers here. Not a huge amount, but there's enough of them. So I guarantee there'll be traders getting trapped again there. Look, straight away, what happened? Triggered your buyer tick, came straight down. The market's got a way of sucking in buyers. I mean, that is a nice little setup. But the context of it is I'm going long right into the top that's already broken out and pulled back above previous highs. That's the first thing, the visual thing. But then looking on here, there are buyers trying to get in down here, so price may come back before it pushes up. But look, triggered you, came down, stopped you out, and then what's happening? There are still buyers around about this. Is that about 3.5? So around about here. So, but it may come down below there. I didn't take it. I was fully expecting it to take off immediately. Yeah. So it's. I mean, as far as a setup, it's not a bad setup. It looks okay, but the context for me is we've just made overnight highs or daily highs. And we've had 2 pushes up. So the tendency is to take that. I get it, but I probably wouldn't go long into the tops there. But the bit that kept me out of something like that was looking at this. And it did exactly what I expected it to. It triggered it and came straight down and stopped it out. Well, that was it, actually. So having this, certainly you can see these amount of sellers here. Chances are it's going to hit these before it does anything. And they kind of start from 90, which is kind of right. In fact, let's leave that where it was. These orders, they span over quite a bit, actually. So the bulk of them are up here, but they start from around about the 90, which is here. So over this whole area, there are sellers. And is anything kind of left? Look what's happened. Price has been into this area. You can see it shuffling around there, can't you? So, and there again, bounce, bounce. Look, bounce, bounce, bounce. So this area is playing a part going back a week or however many days that is. So we're into it again. So I suppose you'd fully expect it to push in, and more than likely, if it rejects here, pull back to the natural place, which is probably here where we've bounced a few times. And I'm pretty sure if I go left, we'll probably see something here. Yeah, look at that. Bounce, 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 bounce. Push into it, pull away. That is definitely playing a part, isn't it? You can clearly see it. Look at that. Straight in it and above it, straight in it and above it. You can see it's rattling around price. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, right into it. So same again, these levels do play a part. And that's where these buyers and sellers are obviously using. So so the tendency is to think they're going up there, let's go long here, but sometimes they'll just pull back first, and you could just see there was buyers down here, and it came back, picked up the buyers, and slowly started to move. So second loss of the day, yeah. See, if I was you, if you can't walk away and you're finding it hard to walk away, buy a Guardian Angel Trader. I have mine set even now to 2 losses, and mine grays out. I can't take any more, so I'm figuring it 2 losses. I'm probably mentally depleted to a degree, and the simple thing is for your computer to just shut down and not let you trade, because that urge is there to want to try and get your money back. I still feel it. I took 2 losses the other day, and I felt it. I wanted to carry on, but fortunately, I have mine set so I can't trade after 2 losses, and that kind of makes sense. So we've got 2 legs back here. would I go long here? At the moment, I've got a fair amount of orders below. So every time we get to this area, it's finding a little bit of resistance. So for that reason, I would leave that. You can see at 80, but look what's happening. Where's 80 down here? Look what's happening. It's triggered it and it's coming down. So you can see those orders at 80. So it's likely to pull down before it pushes up. So straight away there, it hasn't done yet, but I'm pretty sure it will do. It'll probably trigger that bar anyway, which will break a tick below there. But you may say 2 legs down, bullish bar. Let's go long. Pushes up, triggers you, comes down, and quite likely going to stop you out. You can see these orders here, 77 as well, which is a bit lower. But I'll be shocked if it doesn't break below there. It's easy liquidity of that because there will be traders there. There we go. So same again. It does help your decision making. And these orders are around about, let's bring this one down, around about this 75 to 77 level. 77 to 75. So there are buyers there. Now, as we've come off the top, a lot of these sellers up here might start to yank their orders thinking price is coming down now. So it'd be interesting to see if some of these start to disappear. One did there. He took the lower high. Yeah, I didn't expect it to come down that much, but you can clearly see it's struggling to break through this level here. So there are big sellers up here, but there are also going to be sellers selling at this area. I'm really having doubt here. Yeah, it's a horrible shit feeling, mate. It really is. But if you just keep doing it and just keep trying, it will get better and it will get easier. It's impossible to do this every day and not get better at it. So it's just uncomfortable when it happens. So I always traded 2 contracts. I can't tell you how many people said to me, lower your contract. And I just thought, no, I know better. Now I'm getting somewhere. What am I doing? I'm doing the lowest contracts I've ever done because I've realized you risk too much and it messes with your emotions. You know, if you're a brand new trader and you've had no experience of emotions, if you're risking $2 on a trade, you're not going to have any emotions. So there is a point that you can lower your risk so those emotions all but disappear. Live to fight another day. I can't remember how many times you said that to me, Karina, and I didn't listen. Yeah, the trouble is sometimes it doesn't matter what people say to you when those emotions are kicking in. I can't tell you how many times I shut down the stream and jumped straight back into another trade. That feeling is powerful. See how this is reacting to price? We push up into it. We bounce into it. We push up into it. And we're doing it again. Don't listen. Nobody does. It is hard. It doesn't matter who you are. Someone says to you, you got to walk away. And I don't know how many times I sat there and went, yeah, I'm going to actually. And straight away, I'm straight back into another trade. Because on the contrary, I've always said I think women make better traders because they're generally calmer than men. Men are a bit too boisterous. I absolutely think women make better. They got better temperament. Men are too brutish, I think, for want of a better word. There are exceptions, obviously, but men don't like to lose. We always have that kind of natural fighting instinct, that testosterone bubbling away in the background. So there are orders at 70, so this may come down a bit further and pick these up. Let's have a look. You should do that. So you're a what's it on here, aren't you? Moderator? Is it moderator? I don't know. you've got the power. If someone says, mind you, the trouble is you could ban them from me, but it doesn't mean they won't trade. I'm surprised they've never come out with some add-on that you can add on to NinjaTrader that as soon as you take 2 losses, it automatically connects you to a therapist, which spends 15 minutes trying to pick you back up. So orders down here. So I think this could come a bit lower. And part of the reason why I'm looking at 70 is because I wouldn't be surprised if it's below there. And it is, look, there's 70. And you can guarantee that there's quite likely buyers there now, stops there. So that is coming down below there. So, yeah, I've watched him a few times. I'll show you on my history. He's got a few long videos out, actually. Where's my history? I don't know how far it goes back. I was watching him, I think, a few days before you sent me that message, Karina. Find it now. What's that much crap on YouTube? I know I was watching him being interviewed by that black fella. What's his name? He's another trader. He tends to interview a lot of traders who end up having these record payouts. Yeah, his name now. I spend so much time on YouTube. So what's price doing? It's coming down. Now, without Bookmap, I'd have probably had no idea where I think price is going to, but look what happened. Straight down below there. I didn't know. Oh, dear. It's going out of sight again. Weird, isn't it? Yeah, still orders down here. So my guess is now this is ranging. Now, I kind of mentioned that earlier because I drew the range because you can clearly see that price is kind of working between these 2 levels. So there are buyers at 50, which is down here, which is quite a bit below that. Yeah, I can't find him now. Is he French? He's not French, is he? Is he Spanish or something, Corinne? I think he's Spanish, isn't he? I can't find him now. He's got a strong accent anyway. I think he is Spanish. Or no, he's Italian, isn't he? Of course he is. I'm at a point now where I trade 1 mini per trade. That's a good number, I think, for prop firms. Especially if you're on the NQ, then that may miss quite a bit of my MQ. I've cut down my trades, taken 6 so far this month. 5. There you go. You take less trades, you're going to win more run, because if you're taking less trades, by definition, you're waiting for better setups. And that's sensible. I found when I started taking less setups, I had more winners, less stress as well. Why go for all the stress of taking? I mean, A lot of the times I used to watch Wilson in the past, he'd take 6 or 8 trades in a day, he'd lose 2 of them. So by the time you win a few, lose a few, he was probably up about $100. And think of all the stress when you're in a lot of these trades. So I think you're much best off just sit back and relax and then wait for something to jump in front of you and wave. So there are orders up here, so I won't be surprised if this has a pullback and it pushes back further. So there's not much in the way of orders up here, but a lot more down there. So where's that? 277 spot 5277, which is there. So if we had 2 legs up here, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Bear with me just a second. Okay, so okay, that pulled up, not much here, and pushed down strong. There wasn't a second entry there anyway, but see how this is getting quite clear now. So you can tell there are buyers all around this area. And it's not surprising, is it? You can clearly see that area. There's, excuse me a sec. Okay, sorry about that. Something downstairs is making a noise. Okay, so these buyers, there's a chunk of buyers around about the 52. 52.5. So let me have a look. So maybe a channel with a break. Starting to go a bit sideways here as well, and this is right where buyers are. So there are buyers right at this bounce. So may go a bit sideways, probably trap a few traders, have another little push down and pick up some of these buyers. But you can see these buyers right between 55 and just below 50 in that area there. So if we look back, pretty sure, bum, 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 bounce, bounce. This is an area that's played a part. Yeah. Bounce, 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 bounce. So you can guess why there's going to be buyers here. So, oh, shit, let's just remove that. So, yeah, you can see where price is moving between these levels, can't you? I found after learning how to read price, I already knew after a setup had printed whether it was good or bad. I stopped watching chart reviews. I didn't find someone criticizing my opinions helped. Yeah, I've often wondered in the past whether I should. Now I know sometimes I'll tend to use the forums, but I have thought maybe I should switch them all down. But I've got the confidence now to believe that most of my decision making are pretty good. But I used to, a lot of the times I used to say, "Can I have a look at your chart, Dan?" But then in the end, I'm starting to think there was a trade I took last week that Dan didn't like. I thought it was a beauty. Marco marked it and Mac did as well. It looked beautiful. That's happened a couple of times. So I think sometimes it's having the confidence in yourself. But the trouble is with trading, there's so much in the way of failing. It's very hard to get that belief. Can I actually do it? So, you know, when you're failing so much, it's only natural you're going to have doubts, and you kind of feel like you need a crutch. You know, you need to kind of rely on other people to help you make your decisions. And sometimes, wow, they are. So look how that's worked right into there. Let's see if this picks up now. I'm not going to do anything here because I want to give this a little bit of time and a bit of space to kind of figure out what it wants to do. You don't know whether price is going to absorb these. It may come back to the EMA and then continue down. It's hard to say, but there are sellers here. More buyers down here. So if we got a second entry short, I'd probably expect price to come down and retest the lows before it moved up. But what I've got to keep reminding myself to do is use Bookmap as a guidance, but still focus on the chart. I've still got to get me set up. When I get a setup, if it's not perfect, that's when I can look at Bookmap and thinking, am I kind of, thinking along the right lines? So those buyers are at around about 51. So let's put that there. So there are buyers there. So I would be inclined now not to take a second entry short, because as we've pushed in this area, it may come down and attempt to test the lows. But as it's pushed right through that area and pushed up quite strong, my guess is it may only come down here before it continues up, or before it, pushes up. And I don't want to get trapped going short there. Now, that may not be the case, but with where we've just pushed through, you can see these buyers here, can't you? So it may not come down. Now, having said that, we may get up with a break. Buyers may push it up for a second leg, and then it may come down and test the bottoms. But I'm going to have to kind of play this as it happens. So I'd like it to hit those buyers because I don't want those buyers left there, because if we get a second entry short here, right above where I'm going short into those buyers, that could get me in a spot of bother. So I'd like it to clear those buyers first, which it's doing, I think. A little bit lower. There we go. Now, are those buyers going to get absorbed, or is this going to push up for another leg? So, relatively strong orders at around about 57.5, which is hopefully above price. Yeah, it is. So, based on that, we could get 2 legs up. But we have got orders around about the 6, so it may come straight down. I'd like to think we get a second leg up here. But as those orders are there, it's not far off. Where are they? They're around about the 6, aren't they? Which is there. So below lows. So let's see if we get this other second leg up without a new low. We've got no setup here anyway at the moment. It may not. It may just come down. You can see those orders, can't you? Price isn't far away from them. See, I wouldn't want to take a short there because there's not much space to the lows, and it may trigger and push up, but it does look like it's just going to come straight down. I don't think there's enough sellers. There's a few popping up here. You're going to need a few sellers up here to pull back. But it doesn't look like there's enough of them for it to hit this low. We're down here now, see. So we've made a new low. Okay, so the lowest strength-wise are at 45. You can see them there. So, yeah, I think there's going to be people trying to push below here and then probably tackle this area. I mean, really, unless you're a big player and you've got big stops, you probably, for us anyway, we've got to stay out of this sort of stuff really until these buyers tend to evaporate and then price starts to drag price up. Yeah, straight down to that 45 level. So it came down, pushed back up to this, and then pushed down to this. So you can see up to that, down to that, we pulled back up through it and then came back down and back. So you can see these levels, they clearly make a difference. They, clearly attract price. So that is the next level for me, whether it gets down there or not. Maybe a touch, yeah, around about there. So now it's pushed below this level. We may test it and continue down. It's hard to say. So these are around about the 41-ish, give or take. In fact, I can open this up a little bit. I mean, that's a fair on move down, isn't it? So, yeah, around about the 41 level, which is where that is. So the more you watch this and see what price does, the more you get a good understanding for where price is likely to go. My guess, it was going to come up to here, then come down to here, then come. So, you can see it's good to put these there and plot them because it does gives you that kind of visual thing on your chart as well. And it gives you that confidence that where price looks like it's going, more often than not will go there. And if it's in the direction of your trade, then that gives you that little bit of confidence, isn't it? Because when we take a trade here, we don't know where price could go, but having this level 2 data here, it does tell us where there are other where there are other traders. So there we go, straight down to that line now. So this thing's flicking around here. I dare say there's buyers coming in and sellers coming in. Who's going to win over? So 35 is the lowest I can see now, which is there. Now, doesn't mean price will bounce there, but that is a target. But then there are sellers around the 42 to 40 mark, which is here. So we may get a little pullback. Around about the 42.5, which is, let's say, around about there. So actually right up as far as 45. So is this starting to draw price up? Yeah, the orders up here are starting to look a little bit stronger. So I think price temporarily is coming back. Okay, excuse me just for 1 minute. Okay, let's have a look. What's going on here? Let's have a look. So yeah, this thing doesn't like it's finishing. Right, I've got myself a nice healthy snack. Hot noodle, a large scotch. So, what's going on here? So we've actually broken this area. Now where's price going? What I definitely don't like doing is going long in a downtrend, regardless of whether I think it's finished or not. So could this go down lower? It could. I think it will. That's hard to say. I think I'm fine. I should keep trading today. Okay, mate. I mean, you can always switch it onto a sim. Or I'll tell you what's quite nice sometimes, just to sit and watch the market and do nothing. Okay, I'm not taking a trade here because we got a big load of orders at 30. You can see them there, so this thing may pop back up. It's getting a bit volatile here. So it never quite took them orders out. So it is a second entry short, but I don't like it, regardless of whether it works. Some of these bars are getting rather large. So, oh, see, these orders just get yanked down here at 700. So there are some at 710. So my guess is this is going lower. So there are some at 710, some at, say, 712, which is there. Strong buyers at 715, which is there. So I think there's a good chance price comes down to this measured move. Now, is there some kind of a larger channel there? Maybe. What I think is probably better. Let's just get rid of that a minute. Let's follow this second channel down. Trouble is, if you go right from the top, we don't have a break. Let's see what anybody else has got. Got a mixed bag. So I think that is probably a little better. It's hard to say, really. Maybe it does go all the way back. Sod it. Let's just stuff it there, see what happens. So, where's my second chart? So, okay, so prices here. This is bouncing around a bit here. So there are sellers here at 26, 25, I think. Not a huge amount, but around about the 27 level. So around about there. So channel break, new high, lower high. That is very tempting. I'm going to take that.
Order submitted.
Strong move down. Oh no, don't come back and get me. Was I a bit impulsive there? I may have been. It's going to get me, that is. I'm going to get out of here if I can. Come on, get me. Come on. I want out of this. Come on. Come on, come back and get me. Please, please, I'll be really good.
Order filled.
Okay, so I'm out for a tick there. I think that was a bit premature. It is working. It was just a rather large bar. I actually still like it. It's just big. It was 6 points. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me just Disconnect. It's saying I got open positions, but I haven't. They're shut. Okay, it did work in the end. Perhaps I should have just left it. It was a big risk. It was 6 points. I don't like a 6 point risk. I got out for a tick in the end, but there we go. I don't want to risk $300, to be honest with you. It did work, but you know. Channel break, new high, big bearish bar. The fact that it nearly came back, if I'd have left it, it would have worked. But who knows? To be honest with you, it was just too big of a risk. So a tick above. Yeah, I mean, it's 6.7. Was I risking $300 odd, something like that? I'll have to have a look back on it. It's just too much, I think. It's just getting a bit volatile at the moment, I think. Now, it's still within that channel, so that may be a hidden second entry short, too far from that EMA for me anyway. That was a little bit impulsive. Having said that, I think it worked. I think, depending on how Max got this, I think you can see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a drop. So it worked. It's just a little bit too impulsive, that was. Rather than giving it a chance to look at the trouble is sometimes a bar looks that good, you jump in without really giving it some proper thought as to the size of it. So it did work, but not before it came back and scared the bejesus out of me. So let me just get rid of some of this. 10. There are orders down there at 10. Now, what I'd be looking for here is a failed breakout. It's a little bit of sideways there. If we can get a breakout, straight down. I was looking for a possible failed breakout. So the measured moves comfortably. So it did work and it carried on down, but it's just too much of a risk, really. Need a scotch after that. Most of my risks are kind of around the 150 mark, so that was a bit much. So I just wanted out of it, really. So let's have a little look here. Now, I'm not too sure here. We've got sellers at 30. There are lots of sellers coming in here now, trying to push this down. 21 and so on. So if we got a second entry, trouble is, I think that's a big point there. So I'd like to see a leg and a leg. Looks pretty amazing. Yeah. Got to get a bit higher, I think, here. Orders at 21 and 28. So there's 21. There's 28. So a leg and a leg. I would feel much comfortable about going short if we'd broken above there. Maybe even there. There are shorts at 30 is the highest I can see. 27 as well. So there. And there. So a chunk of orders around the 23. 23 here. So just got to be a bit careful here. They're slowly drawing price up. The highest bunch are at 30, which is kind of at that level there. Took way too much heat for my comfort, that did. Buyers at 20. Okay, now I get the tendency to short here, but with these orders, strong orders, 27 and 30, I wouldn't take a short here. It's not a fantastic bar. I'd say it probably closed in the bottom lower third, maybe, but it's still too risky, that. There you go. So if that had been more bearish, there may have been traders taking that. Look at that. 37 ticks straight down. So if you took that, stopped you out, came straight down, rub your nose in it. Shorts at 18-ish, 17, 18 around here. Just keeps going out of sight again. Maybe I've got to hold it here and then do it. Let's take it off first and then put it back on. Still moving. Stop. Come on, you git. It's weird. One minute it was working, you can see it's. Okay, so. Okay, so big channel down, little correction to push it down to a new low. So now let's see what happens. Bitcoin at 88, is it? Crazy, isn't it? Is it peaked out? Is it at 120 or whatever it was? Or is it just a pullback? You never quite know, really. I've got to say, if this is the end of crypto, as in the end of the bull run, it's done nothing compared to what it's done other years. In fact, Bitcoin's done okay. I mean, Bitcoin was at 67,000, I think, at the height of the last bull run. So it's nearly doubled. Solana's done well. Ethereum's just done nothing. It barely broke last bull run's high. What did it get to? $4,000 odd. It's just done nothing, really. Yeah, it's just not done much. They haven't done nothing. Mind you, it may not be over yet, but it's taking its bloody time, hasn't it? People said, well, when I started following a little bit more the start of this kind of bull run, people were saying it should peak in around mid-2025. Well, we're more or less at the end of 2025. So, trouble is, you never know when the bubble's going to burst a little bit with the altcoins. Now, there are certain altcoins which are probably going to be around, you know, your Ethereums, you know, Solana's, XRPs, and those. But there are, what are there? I wouldn't be surprised if there's 5 or 6 or 8 or 10,000 coins out there at the moment. Some you're never really going to hear of. But maybe that kind of initial bubble is burst. Now, why this is still moving? 1 minute it stopped and I seem to figure it out, and the next minute it's just slowly moving. Recentering. It's got to be that, hasn't it? I'll have to have a look later. No, they've just done nothing really, have the altcoins? Not really. Solana's done well, don't get me wrong. That went down to about, I think it went down to $8. I think something happened with the bank, didn't it? And it took a big hit. It went down, I think it was $8 or $10. I think I bought some at $10, maybe $12, and sold them at 18. I thought I was making a killing. Little did I know it went up about another 1,500%. Trouble is, you never know, really, do you? You just never quite know. Excuse me, just a sec. Okay, sorry about that. That was the boss. So, Christ, this thing is having a proper pullback in it. I hate to see what it looks like. Oh, mind you, we've only really recovered what we had overnight, really, haven't we? So, where's this thing going to go now? So, big channel down with a break and a new low. It's not that easy to trade here. Trouble is, when it goes down, you think, can't continue down. But sometimes it just does. Ah, can't seem to stop the damn thing from moving. Just disappearing, isn't it? It's because I've got this smaller. No, it doesn't make a damn difference, does it? Slow it down a bit. So channel break. See if we get two legs up. There are 700 up here, so there are sellers up there. Yeah, this thing don't want to stop. So we've got a new low there. So that's just a first entry, that is. 89, we got orders around about here. Right above there. Quite a few around 89-ish. All around here and then straight down. What can you do? 41 ticks straight down. That can ruin your day. Orders kind of around here. This thing doesn't want to stop, does it? £20, more or less, straight down. Orders around here at 82, so come on, I'm just constantly dragging this thing back. It's just loads of volume today, that's for certain. So there's a load around about the 82, which is there. So see if we get a
Order submitted.
short there. Oh,
Order submitted.
See if this works. Second entry short. Not a huge risk. Oh no. It's a loss.
Order filled.
I actually kind of like that. Touch, touch, touch. Second entry long. Oh well. So we're down 225. Well, it happens. No point in worrying about it. Is this reversing? I actually really like that. Touch, touch, touch. Confirm the trend line. Typical. I like that. Kept you out of that. Yeah, it was moving that quick. I'm constantly having to move it away. Yeah, I think touch, 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 touch. That's what kind of got me in. So we've had a break above this. Now we got a lower high. We got buy orders at 77, which is here. It's just not low enough. Is this thing pushing up? There's a second entry long there. There's more orders up here, I think, or is there? There's a higher low on my other chart, but at the moment, just gonna have to leave it alone, I think. Is this reversing? Trouble is, there's orders all over the shop here. Second entry short there. Trouble is, it's congested to hell and it's trappy. I have a feeling this may be reversing now. How long have I been going? Okay, I think I'm going to knock it on the head there today, actually. I don't like the way it's bouncing all over the place at the moment. What time is it now? 10 to. So I've been going about 3 hours and so and so. It's just risky as hell today. So it is bouncing all over the place. So I'm going to leave things alone. So I'm going to leave you folks to it. So best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, I'll be back tomorrow and we'll do it all again. Have a great evening. Stay safe. And I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.